Hey everyone, my name is Thomas Spada and I'll be giving you a short lesson on the 5 chemical reactions. I'll also be giving you a story to help you distinguish between the reactions and maybe help you remember them in the long term. The first chemical reaction we're going to talk about is synthesis. This type of reaction involves the combination of multiple reactants into a single product. The general formula below shows the reactants A plus B combined into the product AB. A real-world example would be hydrogen combining with oxygen to form water. Our story starts below with a young guy named Fred. He has his eye on Wilma, and somehow he convinces her to go on a date. They ended up becoming a couple, forming our synthesis reaction. The second chemical reaction we're going to talk about is decomposition. This type of reaction involves the splitting of a single reactant into multiple products. As you see below in our formula, we have the reactants AB splitting into the product A plus B. A real-world example of this would be hydrogen peroxide splitting into water and oxygen. To continue our story, we have Fred and Wilma. They've been dating a while. Wilma's not really feeling it anymore, so she decides to break up with Fred. So we have Fred together, and they split up into just Fred plus Wilma. Our third type of chemical reaction is called the single displacement reaction. A single displacement reaction, also known as a single replacement reaction, is a type of chemical reaction where an element reacts with a compound and takes the place of another element in that compound. This type of reaction is typically pictured like this. Here, C replaces B in the compound AB. A real-world example of this would be copper displaces silver in a solution when a copper wire is dipped into a silver nitrate solution and solid silver precipitates out. Moving back to our story, at some point in the past, Fred and Wilma got back together. But Fred, he wasn't really that happy, and Wilma had a bad friend named Betty. Betty ended up stealing Fred, kicking out Wilma to the side. Tune in to Jerry Springer tomorrow to see what happens next. The fourth type of chemical reaction is called the double displacement reaction, or the double replacement reaction, and it is a type of reaction that occurs when the cations, or positively charged ions, and anions, which are negatively charged ions, switch between the two reactants to form new products. As you see below in the formula, the cations A and C switch to form the new product AD plus CB. In our story, we have Fred and Wilma, and we have Betty and Barney, but not all is great in their relationship. You see, Fred, he's a Yankees fan. Wilma, she's a Red Sox fan. And Barney, he's a Red Sox fan. And Betty, well, she's a Yankees fan. So they do what any logical couple would do, and they just switched, so they could be happy Yankees and Boston fans together. Our fifth chemical reaction is called a combustion reaction. A combustion reaction occurs when fuel, in the form of hydrocarbon, reacts with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water. If we go back to our storyline of the single replacement reaction where Betty steals Fred from Wilma, their relation progresses and they end up buying a house together. Well, Wilma wasn't very happy about it, so she did the only smart thing that somebody could do, and she lit the house on fire. When that fire occurred, carbon dioxide was formed, and water came about when the fire department had to come and put the fire out. So the life lesson here is, don't do that. Well, this will finish up my lesson on the 5 chemical reactions. I just wanted to leave you with one last thing. I know chemistry can be hard sometimes, and if you're ever studying and you're struggling, just remember, even the best scientists have moments like this below.